So today I want to talk to you about installing software. Now there's a few different ways to go about doing this. Now the clear and most obvious way of installing software is to go to the Mac App Store, do a search for something, find what you want and install it from here. So in this one I'm just going to hit install on this TOT software. It's going to ask me to confirm. And then it's going to download. Once it's downloaded, you'll see Launchpad jumped right there. There you go. There's TOT. I can open it. And there you go. There is essentially the software I just downloaded. And anything which you download via the App Store is going to work pretty much out of the box on your system. You don't have to worry about enabling any kinds of permissions or anything like that, because the App Store handles all of that in the background. Now, another couple of ways in which you can install software. So, first one, let me show you. Here we're on the Notion website. I use Notion and I'll come back and talk about this another time, but I want to download the Notion calendar application. Okay, so if I click on that, you'll see there's download for Mac. And when I hit download, there you go, it's installed it. Well, it hasn't actually, it's downloaded it as a zip file. Okay, now if I click on the zip file, look what happens. It extracts everything, and there we now have install Notion calendar.app. We would double click on this. Yes, we want to open it. Yes, you want to allow it access to the internet. And it's going to run through the installer. Alright, so sometimes these things come zipped and you have to install, you have to run the app in order to run that particular installer. Okay, so there's that one. Alright, next one I want to show you is, this is again just something from, it's just something from the from the MacFuse website here, but just to give you a, don't worry about what this is, just know that this is just for an example. So if I click on this one right here, you'll see we get a different item this time, this package software, right? So if I click on the package, now it runs through the installer this way. Okay, and I can go through and get to the point where I can hit install. I'm not going to do that in this particular instance, but if I wanted to install the software, I just run that PKG software, which is pretty straightforward. Then, the last way in which you can install an application is, if I go to Notion here and download for macOS, you'll see something different occur. It's going to take a few seconds for it to download. In the meantime, okay. Alright, so now Notion has finished downloading, and you'll see that in our downloads directory it has this DMG. Okay, DMG basically means disk image. Now watch what happens whenever I double click on this. Oops, try that again. Double click. See this? Right, so first of all, we get an icon appearing on the desktop over here. In addition to that, we get a window popping up here with the little Notion app and the applications folder. Okay, so here, what is it that we want to do? Well, basically it's telling us this is what we need to do to install the application, right? So we drag this into the applications folder. Go to applications, and as you go down, you will then see that the application is now found down here. Okay, so very straightforward. When I'm done with that, I'm gonna just close that out. But this still sits on the desktop. All right. Now, what can I do with this? Well, this is actually, as I said before, a mounted disk image. If I go down in Finder, you can see I can click on Notion right there, and it actually has like the Notion app and the shortcut to the applications item, which we showed before, right? Now, I don't have need for this anymore, so there's a couple of ways I can get rid of this. I can click on this button right here, which will cause an eject to happen, or I can go over here, right click, and do eject Notion. Alright, now this is the same for all DMG type files, right? So I've got one here called test.dmg, and if I again double click on this, you'll see it shows me the content of that DMG file, but also mounts it right here on the desktop with the name of the folder that I created for the DMG. Right, I can also double click on this other one here, right, and that again will mount down here. And as I go down in Finder, you'll see there's APFS1, there's downloads, and again, if I wanted to browse their content, I could easily do that by double clicking. Okay, but once I'm done with these, I can hit eject. Alright, so that's pretty much how to go about installing various applications on macOS, and a little bit extra in there about how to handle DMG files. Hope that was useful to you, and I will catch you next time.